Today we need to talk about the police getting involved in a certain case that has opened up. I want to get into Jimin getting some threats recently over a dating rumor and what he might have replied to that. And then we have Jimin believed to be starting a lawsuit. So hey Dumplings, is Dave, decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, taste spilling mug merch, and let's go. We need to talk about an alleged lawsuit that Jimin is believed to be a part of. First off, we need to get into where these rumors come from. There's accounts on Twitter or X that their whole job or their whole selling point of their account is that page talks about predictions or what they believe will happen within K-pop. And some even hide under this idea that they're sasaeng and they know insider information. A lot of these accounts are fake, and a lot of insider people definitely wouldn't be exposing insider information on X for no reason, especially a year ago or a couple years ago where an insider leaking private information got them nowhere. Not only nowhere, but if people were to somehow trace back who this insider is, they can blacklist the insider from ever being in the industry. And the industry is hard enough to get into, so anyone who does get into it isn't going to want to risk getting blacklisted, especially since it was only recently that X now has the option to make money on your tweets, where this definitely was not a thing before. So these alleged insiders would be risking their day job and career just to post on X and make no money from it. So basically what I am saying here is just take these accounts and these posts with a grain of salt and question where they are coming from. One account posted that someone was in the midst of a lawsuit with HYBE and it was supposed to be a HYBE artist. Of course, if this was true, the insider would literally have to be someone who is close to the artist pursuing legal and or at the table in which this legal meeting would happen. So that would literally be so easy to figure out who is leaking it. But apparently when it was posted, everyone believed that it's Jimin taking legal action on HYBE. Now people believe that it's Jimin even though Jimin was never said, because allegedly Jimin has not been active and extremely quiet lately. Jimin was also believed to have the least fair solo promotion out of all the BTS members, so people really think it's him. Except this is where the fandoms have literally just made things up. Jimin not getting a fair promotion is a complete myth. It didn't happen that way. Jimin never toured or did concerts that would naturally shorten his promotion cycle, and among the members who did not tour, they also had a much shorter one. The other thing is that if Jimin and HYBE were in a legal battle, HYBE wouldn't have promoted Jimin at all and would not have allowed Jimin to release an album at all. Not let him release an album, but then promote it poorly, because an album and all that costs a lot of money. The label is just not going to put out an album and use all that money just to not make that money back by doing a poor promotion. It affects the label more than it affects the artist. Also, if the rumors were to get bigger and more people believe it is Jimin, suddenly all these armies will start attacking HYBE for something not confirmed, and each fan will have their own reason why HYBE needs to be sued because of the poor things they've done to Jimin. And then if it were to be announced that it's another artist or whatever, people wouldn't care and then they'll move on. But 2 years later, when another Jimin drama comes up, I guarantee this will be put back into circulation and thousands of people will say, oh, the lawsuit didn't work or whatever. And I can almost guarantee if this is real that it's not an artist that we have heard from for a while. Why on earth would a label push or promote someone who is suing them? Now, sometimes these accounts on X do get it right, and a lot of times it's similar to how fraud fortune tellers get things right. They'll kind of phrase things a certain way to make it seem like it can go either way, and then when the future happens, you'll interpret it as the fortune teller got it right. And this is a common practice. Someone close to you will pass, and then you get a call from someone close to you saying that they passed you on the street, and then you interpret, oh my god, this is crazy. And then if someone dies, then you believe the fortune teller even more. But even without all the fan drama, K-pop is so dramatic on its own. There are so many laws that exist that don't really exist within American pop. For example, drugs, which I definitely don't condone, but it's simply not seen as a big deal when artists do drugs, and the audience doesn't really care in America. The other issue is something like the military obligation. Avoiding it or simply not going can result in something like jail time time, for years or months, and sometimes even as long as what the service itself would be. So would you just rather just do the service and be seen as a hero, or go to jail and sit there and do nothing? Recently, it was extremely shocking when K-pop idols Ravi and Nafla were being accused of evading military service. Ravi received a 1-year jail sentence with a 2-year probation and a 120-hour of community service. As you can see, this is a very intense sentence, and basically for the next 2 years, he'll have to be extra careful as to not make any mistakes or it's back to jail. And then 120 hours of community service is a lot. Nafla was sentenced to just 1 year of prison, and that's it. The reason it was believed that Ravi received such a high sentence was because he not only evaded, but allegedly bribed someone with a lot of money to file him as someone with health issues when he did not have those issues. And he allegedly pretended to have epilepsy. Now, bribing is definitely very against the law, and it makes me think, if this is the extent in which an idol was trying to avoid service, why not just try to do something that probably would have been cheaper and legal? There's an option to denounce your Korean citizenship and become American or whatever. That's honestly so much less shameful than having a reputation follow you of someone who bribes. And then you can come up with a reason why you chose to be American, because not going to the military and evading it to such an extent is seen as betraying the country, whereas just changing your citizenship can probably be more easily forgiven. It's very strange when something like this happens and then you see a famous K-pop idol get arrested and sent to prison, but I also think people who do this, whether idol or not, were already made aware of the risks, and likely someone told them about the risk. And so going forward is your own decision, and you're accepting the risk. That is definitely one of the darker rumors and pieces of drama that have existed in K-pop recently. But there's one that's a bit lighter and fun. And this one is involving Jimin and him allegedly dating Song Da-Eun. Song Da-Eun is an actress, and honestly, the rumors are a bit random because I don't know why they picked her. But the rumor, I believe, started in April of this year, and just like anything in K-pop, the fans don't let things die or go. When a rumor is created and it's not addressed, it will keep growing until a tipping point. And then when the label denies, it's not like that answer is usually believed. It's usually ignored. But why do people think Jimin is dating this actress? Apparently, fans went over some posts that were made from both Da-Eun and Jimin to say that their kitchens are similar and things like their kitchenware are similar, so the pans and the dishes are similar. Of course, naturally, two people in Korea that are famous are going to have some of the best kitchen stuff, and naturally they'll be from the same brand. That's like saying that two people using an iPhone means dating. As for their kitchens being similar, it really makes less sense to me too if you are just aware of how apartments and buildings are made nowadays. Everyone wants a luxury apartment, and real estate investors and land developers are aware that in order to make the biggest return off of investment, it's to make a luxury apartment. And every luxury apartment has the same build and layout. Marble floor, black and white tiles, big windows, everything looks the same. And this is not to bash luxury apartments, but there's a reason why it's so trendy now, because it's easy to manufacture and it just looks high-end, but in a few years everyone is going to be bored of this look. But needless to say, of course, every rich person's apartment looks the same. And also a side note here, the material things are not all what they are hyped up to be. It's literally just things, and things are things that anyone can have. Things are not special. You as the person is what is special. No one can buy you, but they can work hard and buy an apartment, so your value is actually higher than any material thing. But anywho, there's another rumor like earrings are the same, and that's just silly because two people can also just wear similar clothes. And even photos allegedly of the two idols at the same public events, but not sitting next to each other. These rumors got to such a big deal that during Da-Eun's live stream, she was even asked if she was dating Jimin, and she responded saying she doesn't even know Jimin personally. That was definitely confirmation of a no, but people still think that the two are dating. Of course, there's always drama when there's a dating rumor, and especially one where people think Da-Eun has been in Jimin's apartment because they think Jimin and Da-Eun have photographed things in Jimin's kitchen. So Jimin and Da-Eun are getting hate. The fact that Da-Eun opened her live stream to see comments about Jimin is so crazy because the two are not even in the same segment of the entertainment industry. What I think Jimin's response would be that the rumors are crazy. He has to enlist soon. Why would he get into a relationship and then just never see that person. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for the lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.